is Modern Storage Unpacked. Let's go.
Hi guys, welcome back to Modern Storage Unpacked. We are here for day 2 at ISS World Expo 2026. Super excited to be back again today. So excited to show you guys a little bit of behind the scenes right here in Vegas. So let's get into it. Hi everybody, I am Hannah. We're back here at our booth and we have Wayde with us. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
He is with StoreIT. So from storage operator, we're excited to have you here with us. Thank you again. Firstly, for those who don't know you or who your company is, can you kind of give a brief little introduction and background in what you do in the industry?
Yeah, so I'm a recovering dentist. I had a successful dental practice for 20 years.
Oh,
That's kind of
okay.
surprising, right?
Mhm.
And I pivoted about 11 years ago.
It's a big change.
Yes, it's a big
Okay.
change. And we focus just on development right now.
Okay.
So ground up and conversions. And we've done about 11 projects, about 1.2 million square feet of storage. And
Wow.
currently we
Okay.
own 4 facilities.
Interesting. Yeah, we have a few conversions as well. One of our most recent ones, our newest location was like an old like grocery store, Walmart, I want to say. We added a second floor. Those are fun, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're awesome.
It's cool to see the transition, you know. How do you define exceptional customer experience in today's storage environment?
I think it goes back to our core values. So
Okay.
we live and die by our core values. We hire and fire by our core values.
Mhm.
And our number one core value is exceptional customer service. So that not only applies to our development company, but
Yeah.
it bleeds all the way down to the facility level. And I think our managers just embody that. We have one facility in California that has 800 five-star reviews. And I don't
Wow.
believe that we'd have that if we didn't have that exceptional customer service as a core value. And they
Yes.
take ownership, so they'll do fun things in the reception area and the office.
Yeah.
And I know you guys crush it and love your offices
Yeah.
and do such a great job
Thank
with that.
you.
So
Thank you.
I could learn something from you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. We are we love to see everyone succeed, but I do agree. I think that in today's world, the biggest thing that you could really have, maybe not the most, you know, luxurious poshest offices, but having that customer service experience, I feel like will get you a lot further than having just a nice office with no one in it.
100%. And I think our managers, they know the names of the
Mhm.
customers. The customers come in and have a cup of coffee. We
Yeah.
have ice cream. We give out ice cream. We give out free
Ooh,
ice
jealous. Okay.
in our office. So they come in and they interact a lot. So
That's awesome. Love to hear that. Where do you think operators underestimate how quickly a customer forms trust or loses it?
I think it happens in the first phone call. I think that
Mm,
it happens very early on. And
yes.
if you don't have exceptional customer service as part of your culture, as
Yeah.
part of your DNA,
Mhm.
you just lose it early. And I think it's very difficult to get it back.
It is. I do agree. I think that the first initial impression, whether it's they're walking into the office for the first time or on the phone, I do feel like it does make or break. That is something that we like to do is kind of do like an audit. We'll go through and listen calls, and if things don't sound the same and consistent across all the locations, we know that some extra training is needed. And sometimes it's good just like as an operator for you to kind of do an audit from a tenant perspective. What is it like for somebody new to come in and rent from me right now?
We've doubled down on the user experience just because that's
Yeah.
so important
Mhm.
from very early on to all the way through. And if
Yeah.
that user experience isn't spot on,
Yeah.
so we'll rent a unit on our website. We'll go test the QR codes. We'll call in to make sure that the call's going in the right places. So
Yeah.
I think just that user experience is super critical.
So going in to a new area, what are you currently seeing in pricing strategies that could actually hurt long-term asset value if operators aren't careful?
Well, I just listened to a track where the REITs are playing a lot of games,
Mhm.
this bait and switch game and
Yes.
fee stacking and doubling down on the fees. And I think that
Mhm.
we talk about trust, right? Like
Yes.
you're going to start losing customers as you start pulling on too many levers and really being unfair. Another
Mhm.
one of our core values is a win-win. Where we don't do the deal. It's got to, we have to be profitable. We're in business to be profitable.
Yep.
But if we take advantage and
Mhm.
sacrifice the customer, that's a win-lose. And we don't want to have any part of that.
Can you go over your core values? How many do you have?
5.
5. Okay, list them off.
So exceptional customer service, number 1.
Okay.
A win-win or we don't do the deal. hard work and continuous improvement. Look for opportunities and solutions, not problems. And then the final one is accountability and ownership. And those go from, our development company all the way down to the facility level, and all of our contractors, all of our subs, everybody has to embody those. Our investors, I make
Yeah.
sure that I'm in alignment with our investors on the core values.
Between the 1 through 5, is there anything that kind of triggered, oh, this was an aha moment, we need to add this to our core values? Or was that just something that was set from the get-go, from the beginning? You were like, we are going into this knowing these are the 5 things we want out of everything. This is what our company is about.
Yeah, I think some of those started when I was a dentist for 20 years. Like some of them are
Okay.
just core. And then I think some of them were brought forward and we talked about it as a team at StoreIT. And we have a coach that comes in once a quarter to help us with our vision and execution. And we talk about that. Read off all the core values. Are we still living by these core values? And do any of them need to change? So every quarter it's talked about, refreshed,
awesome.
and make sure that we're in alignment.
I feel like a lot of operators aren't doing that in
No.
this day. And like looking back and yes, you can say these are our values, but actually every once in a while reassessing and looking at everything you're going through and like, are we actually upholding these? So that is awesome. I'm glad that you guys do that.
Yeah.
Are operators reacting too aggressively to short-term market pressure in ways that may create bigger problems later?
I'm a big believer in what you think about, you bring about. There's so much noise out there right now, like macroeconomic noise, like there's just a lot of noise. I believe so much that your thoughts become things, and we try to focus on what we have control over and focus on our situation and what we're faced with, and not get caught up in too much of the noise, because the noise will always be noisy and the world will always be worlding. And so
that's good. That's good. It can be easier said than done at times, but I do agree. I think those are great core values. I think we're similar in a lot of ways as well with that.
What's your favorite core value that you guys have?
Probably the biggest one for us would be being fully staffed and never going away with that. And I think in this industry where tech and AI is so like it is just exploding, like we can't keep up with it. I think it's great if it's there to assist the staff and the team and take away those tedious tasks that could be streamlined into an automated system like payment collections, if that makes any sense, so that the staff can actually be present for when that person does come in. We're there. We're not, stuck on the phone with people. So I think that is the biggest thing, is if someone needs help, they're not having to talk to a robot. We're there. So I have to ask, as portfolios grow, what usually breaks first operationally if the right systems aren't in place in your experience?
I think it goes back to staff, right? As you scale up and you get more people, you need to make sure all the people are rowing in the same direction. And if people don't buy into your values and don't believe in your philosophy, that's where it starts to break. Just to your point, it's all about people and rowing in the same direction, and the right people on the bus in the right seat.
I love
and if
that.
they're in the wrong seats, you could have some problems.
If you grow too fast and not have the staff there to keep that consistency across, I can definitely see where that things can kind of fall under the cracks. And at the end of the day, it would be the tenants, sadly, that would suffer the most out of that. What are your thoughts about hybrid management models as you continue to grow? Where does technology help you the most, and where do people still matter the most?
I love that. So we've leaned in over this last quarter. We've really focused on operations and lease up, and leaned into hybrid management. So it's very timely, like
Absolutely.
QR codes. So if a tenant does come in at 6 o'clock at night and wants to rent a unit, they can still rent a unit. We have touchless system where they can get the code, get the lock, get everything, and move into a unit with nobody there. And so we have leaned into that. Ask me a year from now how that's going. We're just new into it, but
that's interesting.
I'm very excited about it. I think I believe in staff so much and managers, but I also think that there's opportunity to extend the hours and increase the user experience if nobody's there.
100%. I agree with that. Looking ahead, what do you think separates operators who will scale well over the next few years from those who struggle?
I think having really clearly defined SOPs, and then having employees or staff that gets behind all the SOPs and lives by it.
So before we close out, is there anything that you want to mention? Maybe someone that's looking to get into the industry, grow, maybe switch from dentistry to self-storage? Any advice that you would give to someone that's, kind of maybe where you started out a few years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
I tell my staff all the time, don't reinvent the wheel. If you're getting into it, find some people that have done it. Find mentors that have actually done what you want to do. There's lots of masterminds. I'm part of 2 different real estate masterminds groups. There's coaches. From my experience, the self-storage industry is very giving. They have an abundance mindset. Like, we're having this conversation. We're both developers.
Yeah.
It's an abundance mindset. So get around people that are doing it and have done it, and ask a lot of questions. Be very curious and be very open.
I love that. That was such good advice. You should start your own podcast, just so you know. People would listen. I would, at least. Well, thank you so much, Wayde, again, for joining and taking the time out of your day. I know that it's going to be a busy few days here. I know you're speaking today as well.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Awesome. Well, good luck with that. And again, thank you so much for coming by. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow, okay?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, we are back for day 2 of ISS World Expo, and I am back with Melissa from Central States. We're so excited to have you back on our podcast.
We had so much fun last time.
Yes, and this is a special one because again, we are in Vegas. We both had a booth here, so I'm excited to kind of learn a little bit more about some of y'all's new products upcoming and coming out. So I know this year you came to ISS with something brand new. Can you tell us about it, and what problem does it solve?
About 3 weeks ago, we launched our new combo latch. I have a little version of it right here. So the thing that makes this so cool is it has all of these different options for any kinds of locks that you want to use, all on the same one. It gives all of that flexibility that owners are looking for, and not only that, but the people who are renting the units, right? They have so many options. It works with Bluetooth latches and locks. It has everything you could possibly want. Whatever kind of lock you want to use, this can handle it.
Oh my gosh.
So the other really great benefit of this is that this is a stainless steel lock, and so it's a lot of the latches in the industry are zinc, and so these last way longer, and so this is actually now our standard offering on all of our doors, and there's no upcharge for it, which people are like really excited about. So behind you right here, I have one that is in zinc. If people prefer that because maybe it matches the other latches they have, we do offer that as well. And we do have our standard Chateau latch still, if people want that instead. But everybody's really excited about this. Really, there's really only one other door manufacturer in the market right now that has had this. And so this is really a great thing that people have been asking us for because they love our doors, but they want this latch.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us on to the next one. When you debut a product like that at a show like ISS, what kind of feedback are you hoping to hear from both operators and developers? Are you guys kind of receiving that feedback and then kind of going back to Arkansas and, going and redesigning or taking all of that and kind of developing something else?
Yeah, I love customer feedback. A voice of the customer is one of my favorite things to get. And so we always get that. In fact, even yesterday, I had a guy come in and he was talking about a problem that he was having and saying, hey, my concrete's not quite, it's not really level. Like, what can you do? And so I'm going to go back. We're going to talk with our engineers and say, what can we figure out that can help this guy for his specific problem? And so anything like that, right? That's really good manufacturers are understanding what are the challenges in the market and figuring out what we can do as a manufacturer to solve those problems for consumers.
Your Sentry door and hallway system has gotten a lot of attention. Can you tell us what is new about that?
Yeah, so that what we just talked about that customer feedback, literally how they built the entire line. And so we weren't in the door business until about 3 years ago. We are one of the largest manufacturers of metal building products, very big in the storage space. But we had so many customers coming to us and saying, hey, can you please start manufacturing doors because we love your product quality and we love the superior service that you guys give us. And so, years ago, we went back to figure out, and when we went to innovate the doors, we went specifically to customers and said, what do you love about what's on the market now? And what would you change if you could? And so taking all that in, designing this line of doors, And then even once we like started field testing it, we went back to customers and said, okay, you try it, you tell us what you like. And we made several changes along the way based on customer feedback. So we try to be a very flexible company that is really responsive to customer feedback. So I will tell you, so this is our 6500 roll-up door, really is the standard one. We have another version that is specifically for high wind, that's the 7500. Okay. And then I don't know if you want to walk around here. So we are also showing our swing door right here, and this is a new thing that we've launched this year, and it is the ventilation at the bottom of it, right? That really helps with sort of those closeted areas where there might be machinery, something in there that you'd need to keep cool. And then we also have locker doors. And what I love is that in your facility in Riverdale, right, which it has all of these different types of doors in it. So we want to really show what we have to offer here.
Yeah, so. and we also love being able to offer our tenants a wide range. And that, I mean, again, that's the whole point. So we love working with you guys. So what are operators really telling you that they like the most about the Century line?
Yeah, let me walk around here and I'll show you something cool. So when we were at your project, you guys, we were talking about how the spring inside the door is one of the most unique parts of it. It's different than every other one in the industry. So I have something cool to show you. Follow me in here.
Let's go.
So it's hard to see, right? Springs are actually inside, so you can't always look at it. When we were at your project, we were trying to see them.
We attempted.
Yeah, so one of the things we brought here, these are springs that have actually gone through the industry testing, right, for the salt water and humidity testing. So this is one of our springs that is just, clean, hasn't gone through any testing. And then this is our spring going through testing. And then these are two of the competitor springs going through testing. So one of the things you can tell, this red rust that you see is really eating away at the metal, whereas the white rust that you see is the sacrificial coating doing its job. So what I would say is this spring of ours was tested even twice as long as these other ones, and it still doesn't have that red rust on it. So that's one of the things, the reason it's so different is because we are using a different grade of wire entirely, and it's actually music grade wire. They make musical instruments with this wire, and because of that, not only does it have better tensile strength, it has better shear strength, it holds its tension better, it resists rust better, but you also never have to grease it. It doesn't get greased by us. You never have to grease it on that annual maintenance kind of basis. So.
I couldn't imagine going to every single unit and
regularly having to do that. You guys, how many units do you guys have in Riverdale?
I mean,
it's a lot.
Probably hundreds. So there's no way you're talking about like weeks of work just
time
to do that.
and cost, right? And it's messy and gross. So anyway, not having to do that. So this has been very popular for people to actually have a visual to understand why it matters that we use different types of materials, superior types of materials that really respond to that normal wear and tear a lot.
It's very important. So how much are facility owners today thinking beyond the appearance and like focusing on more durability, airflow, and the long-term maintenance, when choosing door systems? Are you seeing more people looking at these and being like, you're right, I spend too much time oiling doors or fussing with them?
Yeah, so one of the things we're really hearing is, most people have the same paint. As far as like they look the same, they roll up and down, the sizes aren't that different. So really when it comes down to it, it's about performance, both like against the immediate. So, we're going to talk about weather resilience here. But then it also has to do with that long-term performance, that durability, and the reduction in maintenance. And so we are hearing from a lot of people how attractive it is that you could even eliminate certain kinds of maintenance and then have greater durability. Like we have a really heavy bottom bar. It's different than other people's in the industry. And because of that, it's helping keep those units secure longer, right? And people are responding to that as well.
That's great. That is great. And again, that's the feedback that you're wanting to hear. So are you seeing certain products become more important, especially depending on the climate or the region?
Yeah, so our 7500 roll-up door is specifically designed for high wind areas. It has areas for extra clips, and it just makes it a lot more resilient to that incoming wind, which doesn't necessarily matter for the interior units, but matters a lot for the exterior units. And I've actually driven down the highway before, seen storage units, after storms where the doors are blown in. And so understanding that as weather patterns are changing, the interest in those types of products is expanding beyond just like the coastal areas where we typically would think that there's been ridiculous high wind events in Kentucky, in Tennessee,
Arkansas.
in Oklahoma, in Arkansas, Wisconsin. And so we're having a lot of interest in people saying, hey, I'm not on the coast, but I'm really interested in understanding how can I have higher wind resilience.
That's really good. So can you give us a preview of 1 or 2 practical things operators should be evaluating at their facilities before severe weather hits? Not an afterthought, but maybe for our viewers that are, hey, I should actually think about this. There was some heavy winds not too long ago.
Yeah, so a lot of times the damage that might really impact how your unit performs against the next storm is not even really visible unless you're really looking for it. But some of the really important things to look for would be any kind of denting in an existing door, right? Or separation in the seaming. And even you need to look, really examine it, make sure that your door is in good condition. And then Central States, like other manufacturers, right, you can get a replacement door, right? If that is something you need, so that you don't then have a damaged door that then gives way, damages what's inside, super important. And then the other thing I'd say is really take a look at the track, right? Make sure that that door is in there, everything's all good. And then the bottom bar, like we talked about, if it's bent, if it's rusted, corroded, anything like that, really take a look at that and make sure that your door and your units are ready for whatever's going to come its way.
So looking ahead, where do you think facility design is headed? Like, are there any products or like priorities that are just becoming non-negotiable?
Yeah, so one of the reasons I love that we met, that we do things together now is because I really do think what Modern Storage is doing is really kind of driving the industry forward, and that storage has been storage for a very long time. But you guys are really flipping the script on that and raising the standard for what storage can be, not only as an experience for the person who is renting the space, but for the community in which the facility is located. And so I think that we're going to see more and more of that in the industry as communities are saying, hey, we want a business and a storage unit that's in our community that fits with the aesthetic, that is a benefit to the community and not a detriment. And then people are going to say, hey, I want more than just something I can go to. I actually want good service. I actually want to talk to a person. And then the other thing which you guys do a great job with is really seeing this increase in interior units. Right? Traditionally, storage has been very much an exterior unit. That's the old stuff that everybody's used to seeing. But we're seeing an increase in the number of projects where it's interior units and even drive-up units. People really like that.
Yes, and I mean, even in some of our newest facilities, our newest builds, that is becoming something that we want to offer in all of our facilities. I mean, we've done plenty of episodes about why you should choose climate control. And I think a lot of people, so many people are actually picking that up and seeing that, you know what, if I'm already paying money to store these items, I should just pay that little bit more to protect them and keep the longevity of them. And that's kind of what we're saying.
Such a great thing. So not only interior, but you're right about climate controlled, because so many of these precious things that people are storing, like we understand just as humans, right, how heat, how humidity, can really impact the wear of things, the life of things. I mean, there are people storing, really important furniture or photographs,
documents,
in these units, and really making sure that those are in. They're not going to degrade over time because of the conditions.
Exactly. So, what is one thing that owners don't often think about until after the install?
Yeah, so interesting. So a lot of times when people, they want to do a unit, they're like, hey, I don't want to have to think about any of the accessory items, right? So they're just thinking about hallways and doors and the main pieces. One of the things I would say is that when you are quoting a project and when you're designing a project with a manufacturer, look at all the accessories, because it costs less to add them and install them at the same time than it does to add them later on. So that's everything from, you know, the diamond plate on the outside to burglar bars and to mesh. To making sure that you have the latches that you want, and then even things like fire extinguishers and boxes, right? And making sure that all of those are included in your bid, in your quote, in the design, and that it's getting installed at the same time. You will save time and money.
That is so true. I think, you know, since we do build our own facilities, I think that's probably our biggest hiccup is the construction part. That can really make or break your opening, the momentum that you gain from marketing, things like that. So it is so important to make sure that you get that all done all at the same time. Not only reduces cost, but just reduces so much the backlog of everything.
Yeah,
so
all
true.
of those punch items, like items that on that list, making sure that you're getting them done before the opening, right?
Exactly.
Better experience for your folks. You don't still have construction people in there. It doesn't delay your timeline. And you're right. People will save money if they wrap it all up into the total build.
Oh, very true. So it's been so great talking with you, learning so much about all of your new products. I know we're very excited, and we truly hope that you have a great second day at ISS World Expo, and I'm sure we will be in contact again.
That's right. I'll see you on the expo floor.
Yes, we will.
We're back at our booth, and today I have another Hannah joining us. Double the trouble, two Hannahs. But thank you for coming. You are with Wilshar Steel, and you come from the Storage Solutions division, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So before we get into anything, firstly, thank you for joining us and interviewing with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Could you share a little bit about who you are, who Wilshar Steel is, and what you do with that company?
Yes. So again, my name's Hannah McLeod, and I am a designer / consultant for Wilshar Steel, the storage division. And we consult, we help people plan their unit sites. We will even help them find locations to build their storage and just try to plan and build their facilities as efficiently and economically as possible.
Love that. Love that. I know that we use you guys as well at our locations, so might be a little biased, but they are great. Well, let's get into a little bit about kind of how the self-storage market is changing to kind of start out with. Can I ask how has the market changed since we would consider the boom years? How is today's world, how has that market changed?
I think it's changed in a way, just the way it's structured with the younger generation. People are doing a lot more unmanned facilities. There's a lot more technology in the facilities, and people are they want more sizes to choose from as well.
Yeah.
They
Want more options.
Yes. Yes. You know, back in the day, people would do the 10 by 10s, build a bunch of 10 by 10s and a bunch of 10 by 20s, and that was it. People are coming in and asking for more sizes to fit their needs.
Going down from 5 by 5 to 10 by 15, those in-between sizes, absolutely.
And a lot of larger sizes. We're seeing a lot more on the conventional / traditional storage sizes, upwards to 10 by 30s, which is interesting.
Yes, we do have to have quite a few of those built into our locations nowadays as well. So we are seeing that in our markets as well. Hannah, what mistakes are you seeing first-time developers make?
You know, after the building boom, I think we stress that it's very important to look at the areas, make sure that you're not building in an overbuilt area. Yes. Just studying your market, studying your unit mixes. You know, there might be an area that you want to be in. Well, maybe they've got a ton of indoor or climate, and maybe what's lacking is RV and boat storage, like outdoor covered canopy. So I think just paying attention to those situations would definitely help.
You definitely have to study your market, know the market that you're in for instance, like if you're in a pretty big college town,
Yes.
most likely smaller sizes is what is needed the most of, just like extra oversupply of closet space and,
Yes.
things to put seasonally.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And they probably won't have any RVs that they need to park
right.
in a college town.
But we can't afford that just yet.
Yes.
So, what makes a project more profitable than average?
I would say definitely paying attention to your construction costs. If you over design and over engineer your facility, it's just not going to work. So you have to be very careful on the front end
Okay.
as far as being profitable.
So, as far as an operator goes that is looking to build and do that, how are they able to kind of stay in line with that? Is that where you guys kind of come in and help
Yes.
like guide you through that process so you're not over designing
Yes.
yourself?
We used to own a facility. My parents did when I was younger, and just growing up and seeing how they have done it and the things that they've learned.
Yeah, the mistakes they've made. And
Yes. I
absolutely.
mean, little things that really won't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, storage has such a tight margin
Mm-hmm.
that if you overbuild and make your building more expensive than it needs to be,
Mm-hmm.
then it's
It
just
has to
not
come from somewhere.
right.
You're
It
pulling
does.
from something.
Yes.
So, going into how to select a good self-storage site, and from your experience, what are the top things to evaluate whenever you're selecting land to then build a new facility at?
One thing over the years that I have seen, and I've been so surprised, is traditionally everybody you would think like retail storage is retail, right? I mean,
It
to
could just
an
fit anywhere.
extent, right?
Yes.
I mean, you would think you would want to be in the place that has the most exposure, right?
Right in the middle of town.
Exactly. Well, of course, that is going to be the best place to be. But usually property is really high in those areas and storage just doesn't work unless you go multi-story, which again has its expenses as well. But and this has happened to at least a handful of sites over the years, they have been in a location that has been off the beaten path, but it is a road that is traveled to get to an endpoint multiple times during the day. When we have been helping customers find land, we don't go into the middle of a metropolitan area anymore. We kind of go to the outskirts and we look at the arterial roads that people are driving on to get to
It's
that
easy to stop
metropolitan
off,
area.
pop off to your thing on your
Yes, on
route
your way
home
to
or on your
somewhere.
route to
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
So we believe that storage does not need to be close anymore, if that makes sense.
I like that.
It
Yeah.
needs to it doesn't need to be close to your house. Of course, it's convenient if it is.
Yeah.
But if it's on your way to work,
Yep.
if it's on your way to the grocery store, having a storage that is on the way to a place where people go frequently, those honestly have been some of the sites that have been even more successful than the ones in the
Smack
middle
down
of town.
middle of town.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. What mistakes have you seen developers make when developing said land? Let's say they already selected it, everything's great, but now they're going on to developing it. What mistakes have you seen them make?
That kind of goes back to studying your unit mixes, not planning your land out well. That is one thing that Wilshar Storage Solutions will help
Okay.
our clients do is doing layouts. We believe we're pretty good at doing layouts and trying to, I guess, get the most rentable square footage out of your land as possible. Our process is if we see a piece of land that they either bring it to us or we bring it to them, we do a layout and then a hypothetical layout, and then we will send that over to the civil engineer because obviously we don't know where they're going to want to have, where they're going to need to put drainage and those sort of things. And then they will work around our plan.
Okay,
So we strongly suggest that if anybody is wanting to build a storage, that go to a consultant first, do the layout 1st. Don't go to a civil engineer first and say, hey, I want to put storage on this. Can you lay it out for me? Because they're not going to know how to manage the space and lay it out as efficiently as we would be.
Absolutely. I think
able
that'd be
to.
really good, especially for people looking to get into the industry. Maybe it's their first time as well. So going into a little bit of how designing can impact investment return. I feel like you've kind of mentioned that before of how if you over design something, like it's got to pull from somewhere. What, in your opinion, what design mistakes have you seen when developers bring you designs?
The major design mistakes is when the architect has already started and they do crazy things with the roof designs,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Going a little much with
you're
it.
going to
Yeah.
have major leaks there. It's going to be, they don't take in their, I mean, architects are great. We love them, but they're artists, right? And so it doesn't always
It's bringing that
work.
to reality. You need someone
Yes.
to be there as like that grounding. Okay, this looks great and all, but this is the reality of it. And
Yes.
how can we make this work and fix this issue?
Exactly. And roof and in storage with it being metal, a roof design can make or break.
It
I mean,
matters
it
a
can
lot.
be, yes. I mean, it can be really expensive.
People are paying money to come store at your facility, and they do expect things to be dry.
Yes,
also.
they do. And that is the most important thing, is to
Yes.
keep water out of the storage.
So getting the most out of an existing facility, I think that's something that we could definitely talk about, because that's happening a lot more and more. I know we've done some conversions ourselves. Sometimes when, land is scarce and you kind of have to go at, okay, what's already existing and build from that. What have you seen in the market that can help people with mature sites and high occupancy rates?
What we have seen people doing is, if they've already got their current facility and they don't have any more space to grow outside of that, a lot of times we have our product called Billy Box. It's our portable storage. We have been setting those in easements.
Oh, okay.
So it just maximizes your property, and you don't have to have a building permit for it. They're movable. They can be in an easement. They can be under power lines. So if you are trying to maximize your profits for your piece and you don't really have any room to expand, the portable storage is one of the best things to consider.
I would have never thought that. Okay, so with that, how do you balance raising rates to counter high occupancy rates?
We struggled with it 2 years ago when we owned a facility. We didn't want to raise rates, right? Because you're just afraid you're going to lose your clients.
Right.
I just encourage people, don't be scared to raise rates. I mean, obviously, you don't want to raise it $20 all at one time. We suggest $5 every quarter until you hit that threshold. A lot of people we see are not going to move out for over $5 to get their stuff. You have to be fair and stay within the market. So
doing a research on what your competitors are charging,
Yes.
I'm sure, and what you have to offer compared to those people. Like if you are overcharging compared to your competitors, and someone asks you about that, what
Right.
gotta
What are
have
they
an
getting
answer.
for that value?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah, how you
yes.
differentiate yourself.
for sure.
All right, so Hannah, to kind of wrap up a little bit, is there anything else that you really wanted to highlight and mention to our audience?
Yes, I think another one of the products that we offer, other than the traditional storage and design and consulting, would be our shade caster product. It's our covered canopies, which are really up and coming in the industry with the RVs and boats. The shade caster is a great alternative to the traditional enclosed RV and
Yes.
boat. It has a lower cost point, and then also, even though the rent may be lower
Yeah.
for a covered parking, it gives your customer a different price point and a different option to have just an outdoor covered area for their boat and RV. It's very popular, especially like here in Vegas, with the hot climates. Like we said earlier, how the market's changed after the boom. I mean, just having people want choices these days.
They do. Yeah, they
So
want to
many
feel more in
choices.
control.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they're
and they want more
taking it
price
back.
points to choose from. Yes, for sure. So
Love that.
any way you can offer as many options as possible will definitely help.
Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for answering these questions and talking about yourself and your company
Yes,
with
thank
our audience here. We're really excited for day 2 of the ISS World
Yes.
Expo. We'll have to come
Thank
check
you.
out your booth in a little bit, maybe add some clips to that. But
would
thank you
love
so
that.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Hi guys, I am over here with Bid 13. This is Erich. Thank you so much for meeting with us. We're really excited to talk with Mr. Erich today about your company. First off, for people who don't know anything about Bid 13, maybe it's the first time hearing about you, what exactly does your platform do for self-storage operators?
Yeah, so Bid 13, I kind of want storage owners to think of us as the back office for their self-storage facility when it comes to the auctions process. Our goal is to get your units emptied predictably and reliably in a way that you're not stressed about it, you're not thinking about it, it's not management time from you guys, it's just like our team dealing with it and making it easy and stress-free for the facility owners.
Love that, love that. As an operator and somebody that's worked kind of in the front line, I love that you will take some of that weight off of us a little bit, because those can be stressful days, I won't lie. Well, with that, how does online auctions create value for facilities beyond just clearing, in a sense, just a delinquent account, a delinquent unit?
I would say that is the biggest one. Getting a unit emptied and re-rentable is number one.
100%,
right?
you are correct.
I think that a lot of newer facilities or smaller facilities might get lost in trying to maximize the profits for a unit, which will end up meaning that they're holding on to a unit longer than they should. They might have dragged out the auction process, or like waited longer trying to get the tenant to come and pay. And so that can kind of make it look even worse, because now they're holding on to more bad debt that they didn't collect. So the biggest thing with online auctions in general is just that you can do them one at a time whenever you want. You get to the point at which you could auction that unit legally, cut the lock, open it up, take a video, send that on our website. And we send the bidder to come and collect. The other ways that they can provide value is, one, we're an SEO benefit for facilities. Every time that you post an auction, one of the most important things in local SEO is a citation. And so every time you post an auction on our website, that video has a local citation to your facility.
That's awesome.
So it's got your number, your address, and your name, and the link to your website.
Why do you think that people are so drawn to storage auctions? What keeps bidders coming back?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they make good money on them, I would say. A lot of these guys are doing some sort of arbitrage. I think that it's been super popularized by storage wars, and so it's
100%.
You know, like that just blew up, and people think that they're going to make millions. That said, I got an email the other day that somebody found a bunch of gold bars and a whole bunch of Pokemon cards, and came out of a unit with like $30,000 plus. There was another one in Nova Scotia that said something like 60 grand that they
gold
came out of.
bars.
Yeah, like literally. I mean, like sometimes you
people
get like
really put that in store. That's crazy to me. But yeah, I've heard that people make a true living out of this. They
totally.
They kind of travel around, and it's really just kind of knowing what you're looking at, knowing kind of when to eye out the good units or what might be valuable in those. I'm sure you get a lot of stories about that.
We have that, and then we have the flip side of that is like the nightmares of what people find in units as well. So it's definitely a gamble. And I think that, to your point about the people that are doing it professionally, I think we as storage owners really love those people, because they come up, they show up on time, they clean out the unit, they do everything the way that you would love
know
for
what
them
to
do.
They know
sometimes as a team of people, so they're in and out there like a team.
Do you see a difference between serious buyers and people who come in just because they're really mostly influenced, like shows from Storage Wars?
Like I said, there's definitely a difference between those that come in and know what they're doing and those that are, it's the first time, but you always got to start somewhere. So we welcome everybody, and we try to do our best to educate new bidders and new facilities to kind of make that process again as easy and stress-free as possible.
We are seeing more video-based unit previews now. How do video auctions compare to just solely picture-based auctions in bidder engagement and in results?
As far as I know, we're the only platform that does video. Video is just like, the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 pictures, right? You just see way more than you would see in the few pictures that are selected for those bidders. So generally drives better bids, but also for the facility owners, I find it's just an easier method for uploading. The upload can take a little bit longer, but what the difference that we find is, instead of having to train all of your managers to take like the perfect photos, they can just go there and take their little video, and like they just pan around. They don't have to become like a professional to do these photos for you.
I feel like people trust videos more nowadays too.
That too. So
it's hard to edit.
The tamper tags that we have, that we send out to all of our facilities, you can go from the lock cut to showing the contents into a tamper tag that is
all in one go,
uniquely linked, and that way the bidder knows nobody's been in there before them. They know that what they're getting, what they see is what they get when they go to buy the auction.
Have you seen a video increase, like doing video shoots on those increase the final bid prices?
Generally, what we're seeing is that the videos allow people to see more and therefore bid more on the units. Yeah.
Love that. If you had any advice for operators who want to improve on auction outcomes, what would it be?
So just best practices, taking good quality videos, using tamper tags to give the bidders more confidence in your auctions. We do a lot to try to improve your auction outcomes by online advertising through Facebook, also and Instagram. We also do Craigslist ads and other platforms that are local to you. We used to do KSL. And the other thing that you can do is put the yard signs out. We send yard signs to all of our facilities so it can drive local bidder base that just aren't online for whatever reason.
Love that, love that. I have also definitely noticed with the tendency base that like they do love a certain platform. And like, I've definitely noticed that because we have switched a few times just with our company, and they, when we switch, like, oh, I love this one. Like I never, really kind of bid on them before, but I, use this now. Do you notice that people kind of gravitate to those facilities now that they see that like you're coming in and helping those facilities?
Yeah, one of the things we'll do is you can give us your list of past winners and we'll get them onboarded onto our website if they're not already. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Erich, for talking with us today. Is there anything that you want to say, or how can people find you?
If anybody wants to check us out, bid13.com/demo if you want to book a call with one of us to show you what we can do for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Woo, man.
How are your legs feeling?
Oh, a little sore,
Crazy.
But that is a wrap on day 2 and a wrap on ISS 2026 for us.
I know, very sad, honestly. I was so happy to meet so many people in the industry. Thank you so much, Vegas. We enjoyed it, and we just might have to come back next year.
I know. You might just see us again at ISS World Expo 2027. So
that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next time at our normal studio on Modern Storage Unpacked.
Yeah. That's a wrap for this episode of Modern Storage Unpacked. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe. See you next time.